Hello all, Dinah here with What the Heck's Going On? I seem to be finding myself talking about the trans movement a lot. I realized this and I stopped to evaluate it. I came to this conclusion. The trans movement is a weapon that has found traction like no other to be wielded against the church, Christians, our children, and our families. Now, I realize this is an extreme statement, but all you have to do is watch what predominates our news and social media. In a few short years, we're being asked to deny truth that has been in place since humans began, that there are two genders. Yet now, in the past few years, if we stand on this truth, we are haters and we're doing violence to the trans community. We are gaslighted into silence. What is gaslighting? Dr. Andrew Spear, a professor of philosophy, says, the most distinctive feature of gaslighting is that it's not enough for the gaslighter simply to control his victim or have things go his way. It's essential to him that the victim herself actually comes to agree with him. Gaslighting has gained recognition as a tactic used by narcissists with their victims. It's when a person sees, feels, hears, and knows the truth, but the gaslighter bullies and manipulates them into doubting themselves, their experience, and their emotions. Nothing less than denying what the victim knows is truth and actually believing the bully's lie is acceptable to a narcissist. It is how he controls his victim. Well, we the American people are experiencing just that. We are being gaslighted by the bullies in the media and in the culture in an effort to control and cancel us. It's happening everywhere, but spa dressing room encounters are the most disturbing. In the We Spa in Koreatown, California, a woman who goes by the social media name Cuban Angel went to the front desk and complained about a naked man in the woman's dressing room. She asked, "So, it's okay with you for a man to go into the women's section, show his beep around other women and underage girls, and your spa condones that?" The clerk, in an effort to gaslight her, explained about sexual orientation, but she wouldn't have any of it. "What sexual orientation? I see a beep. He's a man. He is not no female," she said. This video went viral, and a news outlet did a story on it. They made sure to let their listeners know, by the way, that she had Christ is King on her social media page. Wink, wink, she's one of those. They then interviewed a trans activist who said, "I think this is one of the horrible things we experience every single day with our society." What was the horrible thing? The woman saw a naked man with his man parts on full display, watching women and girls undress, and she had the audacity to object on the grounds that he is a man. Like the narcissist, what she saw, a man, heard a man's voice, and felt violated was totally dismissed. This, my friends, is classic gaslighting. The news outlet used manipulation in reporting. They framed her as a religious intolerant bigot, without saying those words, by the way, and the man as a victim being treated horribly because there are people who speak truth and will not be gaslighted. Then the response on Cuban Angel's social media page stepped it up to a bully fest of insults, accusations, and ugly labeling. It was gaslighting on steroids. This is just one of the thousands of examples of gaslighting we are experiencing. If you want to experience it for yourself, just post a statement about the delusion of being trans on your social media page. If that made you hesitate and your heartbeat increase, ask yourself why. It's because of the gaslighting by bullies that you will receive. I just stumbled upon a YouTuber named Amala who has a program called Unapologetic. She was an amazing young woman who speaks truth with composure and kindness. She was on a program called Middle Ground, and she spoke with confidence, unapologetically speaking of God's design. I want to be like her when I grow up. She was amazing. You should check her out. Her point, that was the verbal sucker punch, was in response to Blossom, a trans, who made this statement: "I don't feel like a woman. I am a woman." Amala said that the fact that you had to transition into something that you say you are proves her point. You aren't a woman. You had to go to great lengths to appear like something you say you are. She also objected to him labeling her identity as cisgender. And for those of you in my generation, that means identifying as the gender you are born with. Novel idea. "I'm not cis," she said. "I don't identify as a woman. I am a woman." But her protestation was met with gaslighting. It was also a perfect example of the hypocrisy. So the trans refused to call her just woman without the cis, as she had requested, but was incensed that she would not call him a woman as he had requested. But then they can't even answer what a woman is. There's a clip on social media of a woman marching in a women's rights protest who is asked what a woman is. Yeah, she couldn't even answer it. Really, just stood there, blank. And that's the issue. When you deny objective truth, then your truth is the only truth. The problem is my truth may be in direct contrast with your truth. The only way to solve this is by one bullying the other into denying their own truth. If I have enough people shouting with me, I win, and I can change all the rules to life and make you follow them. Women's sports is a perfect example. It is gaslighting and bullying at its best. Recently, there was an amazing example, without words by the way, of a guy who demonstrated how easily this house of cards can fall. In Canada, their powerlifting union made a rule that anyone could compete in powerlifting competition based on their stated gender preference. A trans man entered the competition, and he, of course, shattered all the women's records and took home the medals. He was previously a mediocre powerlifter in men's competition, so he changed his gender and he won it all. He actually went on YouTube and mocked the wimpy women for not being able to bench much weight, which did not sit well with Alvy Silverman, a powerlifting coach for the women's team. Now, he is all male and really beefy. But for 1 hour, he identified as female, entered the competition, and blew the trans record off the charts by 100 pounds. He did this to make a point. When mediocre men identify in women's sports, they can, by virtue of their physical advantage, win all the medals. They bask in the glory as a female athlete, which also comes, by the way, with huge financial advantages. And they are getting away with it. Here's a thought. What if star male, real male athletes of every sport where trans men hold the record did the same? I think we would see this insanity stop once and for all. We cannot be gaslighted into silence. What we see, feel, and know is truth must be acknowledged. Yes, we can do this with kindness, but we have to do it also with firmness every chance we get. I will call a person any name they want to go by, but I will not call a biological he a she. That makes me a liar and a willing victim of their gaslighting. We must stand as Christians who know the truth. If that scares you, check out Amala. She'll show you how it's done.